Lauren, to me, I have to go back to the beginning. Lauren was born the 10th month of the year, 10 pounds, 10 ounces. And when I held her in my hands, she was a perfect 10 to me. And to this day, she still is.
She was our oldest daughter, but she had 2 older brothers that she was always playing and trying to keep up with.
I always wanted to be able to play with them at a young age, but it took a process and it was a grind to be able to prove that I could be able to play with them.
And finally, one day when her cousins all came over, there was an odd number of players, and they picked her to come out and play as well, and she had her opportunity to get on the court.
Scoring is it's flashy. It's what you want growing up. It's what most players want throughout their entire career. And she was able to find a spot in those games by rebounding.
And it meant a lot to her to be out there and to play and to prove herself as a player and as an athlete.
I committed to the University of Idaho during my junior year of high school, and at the time I was super excited and looking forward to be able to go play college basketball. And so it was just stress-free, and I was able to enjoy my last years of high school just playing for a state championship.
We moved to Arizona. She was a junior, and she won state in Arizona, their team. We moved back to Utah as a senior, and then they won state. So I think that's a pretty cool accomplishment for her to be able to win state in 2 states. Who can say that, right?
After I had graduated, I had the whole summer to work and get ready for college basketball, which I was really excited about. I was super excited to be able to start a new chapter in my life and to be able to finally play college basketball. And
she got up there. We dropped her off the beginning of August. About 4 or 5 weeks into it, I could tell she was really not happy. She was struggling.
I lost a lot of love for the game of basketball. I was, dreading practice. I was dreading weights. I was dreading everything that had to do with basketball itself, which was hard for me because I had loved playing the game, my whole life.
When you're struggling mentally, it overflows into everything. So her studies were struggling. She was frustrated, and she was really wondering and doubting whether or not she had made the right choice.
So it was really weird and off to not be able to feel that passion and that drive for it anymore. And I was trying to find, at that point, really any way to be done playing the game.
I remember looking at a text from Lauren, and it said, I'm coming home. It took me by surprise a little bit. I said, are you sure? And, and I knew there'd been challenges there. And, I'm like, all these emotions are running through, you've made this commitment. You need to stay. And, it's not about what me as a father thinks. It's her and her mental health and her aspect of it and her perception of it. And so I just sent back a text and said, as long as you have a plan, I'm on board.
I definitely doubted myself after, leaving the D1 program because I didn't know if I was just strong enough to be able to play Division I. I ended up going to Salt Lake Community College. While I was at Slick, I think it was very eye-opening, and I was able to step back and breathe for a second and kind of figure out who I was again.
As they say, a stone becomes a gem through much pressure. And I saw the pressure that was on her, and it started to refine her with those sharp edges, so to say, maybe. It really was a blessing in a sense, how this all came together at that point in her life.
As soon as I actually was at Slick, before our first game, BYU called me up and offered me a scholarship. And just being able to hear that from a school so quickly, before I had even played a game, was good for my mental health and my confidence in general.
These little miracles started to occur. They were answers to prayers, her prayers, and our prayers as well. And we could see the Lord's hand in this work.
When Lauren got to BYU, she had to sit out a year because of the NCAA rules with transfers.
So those years of having to sit out and watch her brothers compete until she finally had an opportunity to get out and play was similar to when she came to BYU and had to sit out for a year and wait for her opportunity to earn it.
It really takes a certain mindset to be able to sit out a whole year and stay in shape, keep your eyes on the prize, and be able to put yourself in a position throughout that year and you can have success the following year.
Kind of like the phoenix rising up from the ashes, she was back.
What I'm most proud of with Lauren is her persistence. She's gone through some trials, as we all do, as athletes do, and she's worked hard.
A big part of Lauren having so much success with rebounding at the highest level and doing the dirty work is because she started from a very young age, and she found success at it, and she found value in it, and she stuck with it all the way till now, all these years later.
My journey through basketball was different, but I think that was all part of God's plan and his timing, because, if I didn't go to University of Idaho and then Slick, I don't think that I would be the same player that I am today. It's all part of your plan, and it's all part of the journey.